You're listening to today's inspirational message on the Proverbs with Kurt Bjorklund.
So Proverbs 6 has been a series of practical warnings about these reversals and quick reversals. And now we come back to the theme of adultery. This was in chapter 5. It was all of chapter 5 of Proverbs. It was in chapter 2. It's here, and it'll be again in chapter 7. So just the sheer amount of text on this tells you what a big deal this was, as Proverbs was being written. And here's the snag again, and that is that the person gets involved with somebody else's spouse. Verse 20, my son, keep your father's commandment and forsake not your mother's teaching. Bind them on your hearts and always tie them around your neck. When you walk, they will lead you. When you lie down, they will watch over you. When you awake, they will talk with you. Make them your companion, is what he's saying. For the commandment is a lamp, and the teaching a light, and the reproofs of discipline are a way of life to preserve you from. And then it says the evil woman. Now, we first met in chapter 2 what was called the forbidden woman, which could have meant a foreigner, somebody who wasn't of your own relationship, your own spouse. And here the word is increased to evil. Verse 24, from the smooth tongue of the adulteress. And then he says, do not desire her beauty in your heart. And this word, by the way, desire, is the same word that's used for covet in Exodus chapter 20, verse 17. And do not let her capture you with her eyelashes. Don't be seduced, is what he's saying. For the price of a prostitute is only a loaf of bread, but a married woman hunts down a precious life. Robert Alter translation says that the married woman stalks a precious life. And this may not seem very edifying to say the price of a prostitute is only a loaf of bread. Is this saying that, hey, there's cheaper, better ways to meet this that are immoral? Probably not the point, as much as saying, understand that this will cost you way more than a life of bread, and you will be stalked, hunted down. Can a man carry fire next to his chest and his clothes not be burned? Or can he walk on hot coals and his feet not be scorched? Sometimes in Hebrew poetry, feet were an idiom for the genitals. You see this in the Song of Songs, chapter 5, verse 3, and some other places. An interesting word picture. And then it says this, so is he who goes into his neighbor's wife. None who touches her will go unpunished. And here this has maybe a connotation of a sexual kind of punishment, or maybe an emotional. People do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his appetite when he's hungry. But if he's caught, he will pay back sevenfold. He will give all the goods of his house. He who commits adultery lacks sense. The literal reading here is it lacks heart, and it means that's his seat of reason. He who does it destroys himself. He will get wounds and dishonor. And this is saying there will be a price to pay personally and in honor in terms of how people see you. And this is something that I think is interesting, is that as loose as our society has become with sexual ethics, and that isn't a statement of, oh, our society is so bad, as much as just saying this is the one thing, cheating on somebody, moving in on somebody else's spouse, cheating on your own spouse, that is still seen as being completely dishonorable. Verse 33, and his disgrace will not be wiped away. And then it says this, for jealousy makes a man furious, and he will not spare when he takes his revenge. He will accept no compensation. He will refuse, though you multiply gifts. You won't be able to undo the consequence. And so Proverbs chapter 6 ends saying, don't get caught in another great reversal of thinking, I'm just going to have a little sugar on the side and there won't be any consequence. But no, there will be shame. There will be personal consequences, and it will never, ever be worth it if that's what you choose to do.
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.